You're listening to HAPRC Radio, news, views and reviews from the world of the paranormal from across the UK and beyond. Find us on Facebook, Twitter and the World Wide Web. The views and opinions expressed by presenters and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of HAPRC Radio or their affiliates and sponsors. Listener discretion is advised.
Okay, good evening. Welcome to the final edition of Haunted Connections for 2019. As normal, I've got Jane with me. Hi, Jane.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Neil.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Yeah, been busy, but I think I'm just about there now for Christmas.
Are you all ready for Christmas?
I've just got a few more bits to get, and it's probably the first time I've been ready this early. I don't know what I'm doing with myself.
Blimey, that's because you're not working.
I know. I could thoroughly recommend it, though. It's nice getting Christmas sorted early and enjoying it a bit more.
I'm actually lucky. I only have to buy one present, and that's Julie's.
And she does the rest?
Julie does, bless her. She does all the rest, and she's not been very well. She's had an operation on her arm, but she still does all the work for me.
Yeah, bless her.
So she's a star. So I hope everyone's more or less ready for Christmas. It's a bit of a stressful time of year, but tonight we don't have a guest on with us. It's just Jane and myself, and we're going to recap on what we've done on HAPRC Radio for this year.
Yeah.
Do you believe we start on August the 6th?
It seems so much longer than that, doesn't it? I think it has been a fun journey, though. I have enjoyed it. I have. It's been good fun.
Yeah, it's always a...
And it's also been nice, really, meeting all the other people who involved with HAPRC Radio.
Yeah.
Like Kerry and Paul and all the others. So it's been great. I've really enjoyed it.
We do think ourselves very lucky to be given this chance.
Yeah.
To talk to all you listeners. So, let's recap on where we've done this year. So, our first guest was Jane Harris.
Yeah,
the lovely Jane.
Yeah, and she's so knowledgeable and so informative, and it's always great to have Jane as a guest, because she's not... This isn't the first time we've interviewed Jane, is it?
No, we had her when we did
when we were on the other radio.
Castlemead Radio.
Yeah, so it's always lovely to have Jane on, and she's just so interesting to listen to.
Yeah, down to
she's got such a lot of experience, hasn't she? And she's been to lots of places, done lots of things, so it's always really interesting to listen to Jane.
Yeah, the worst thing, the most disappointing thing about Jane is that she gave Zach Peggy the doll and not me. I'll never forgive her for that. But then the centre wasn't open.
No, she has got a bit of an excuse.
I have told her that she ought to get her back.
Yeah, well, we have said we're going to go. We're going to try and get to Las Vegas ourselves, aren't we? So if we see Peggy the doll, we might just have to sneak her in their handbag or something. We'll see if they'll search my handbag on the way out.
If that doll goes missing now, you're the main culprit. So yeah, it was lovely talking to Jane. Our second guest was Charlene. From Paranormal Hauntings.
Yeah, another lovely lady. Again, very knowledgeable. She's always so thorough with her investigations, the evidence that she gets, and how she shares her information with her writings and with her team and stuff. She's always... I do like watching her work, when she does her lives. And, I think she's a real sort of credit to the paranormal.
Yeah, and she, of course, as Jane did, Jane started by collecting items, a little bit similar to what we do. And Charlene, she has her sort of little museum. I think it's in her mum's garage. So Charlene has her own collection of haunted stuff as well. So that's
and I think with Charlene, I remember when she came up to the centre here, and as far as I can remember, she's the only person who I know has actually got sort of full sentences on, like the Afterlight.
It was Afterlights that she used.
The Afterlight
on the
app that she was using. She was actually getting full sentences, and I've never seen that before. So it was just amazing to see her work.
No, I'm always cautious or wary about these apps for tablets because they mainly come out with a lot of gibberish, but then when they come out with some good words that you can make fit, is that just you making it fit?
Yeah, but those were really quite relevant, weren't they?
Yeah, but when Charlene come out, and it was actually coming out with full sentences down at the back stairs, and it was actually making sense.
Yeah.
To what we were asking the spirits.
Yeah, it was good. It was good watching her.
Yeah. So let's move on to our third guest. Our third guest was Kelly Ellis.
Yes, another knowledgeable lady, all about the venues, all about. The thing I like about Kelly is that she makes people sort of accountable, really, for.
If Kelly's got something to say, she will say it.
Yeah, and there's no beating around the bush.
No, not with Kelly.
And I do like her honesty, and I do like her integrity.
Yeah, and I do like her new Facebook group about the venues. I can't remember what it's called because I'm getting old. But she has a Facebook page that tells people the costs of venues and any reviews that venues get, they can put them on that page. So I think that was needed in the paranormal.
Yeah, and she always has lots of posts, doesn't she? As in, sort of updating information, and I think she puts so much hard work into maintaining the information on there to make sure it's up to date and relevant. And I think it's a real credit to her because, like you say, it's really needed in the paranormal. I think where you can go and just learn so much about venues and prices and reviews as well.
Yeah, and of course, Kelly does have her own Facebook Live show.
Yeah.
Every other week, and that's going well.
The Haunted Advisor.
Haunted Advisor.
Yeah.
She has different guests on. It's every other Thursday, 8 till 9. So you can still listen. You can listen to Kelly, but you can still catch the next show on Parasearch Radio, which follows straight after.
Yeah.
The show is hard hitting. If she's got something to say, she will say it.
Yeah, she's very in depth.
Yeah, which is all good.
And she's just lovely as well. She's got such a fun sense of humour.
She's a good girl.
Yeah, she is.
She is my spy.
I think you do need such a sense of humour in this game.
Yeah, we've just been saying that, haven't we? There is so much drama lately.
Yeah,
in the
need a sense of humour.
There's so many groups falling out with each other. It's
a bit frightening, really, isn't it?
Yeah. So our next guest is another sort of kind of celebrity guest, MJ Dixon.
Yeah.
Another good friend of ours.
Yeah, very, very busy lady. She always finds time to, talk to people and sort things out. And she's been on Paranormal Capture, didn't she? She's been doing projects, filming, and we've seen her sort of progress quite a lot since we've known her, from getting into the filming and doing Paracon, and so she's such a busy lady. But it's always a pleasure to talk to her.
She's very knowledgeable. She's like a live wire.
Yeah.
She don't stop, does she?
She captures some great EVPs. I know when she's been up here at the centre, when she's been investigating, and she has captured some really good stuff.
Yeah, so it was a nice chat.
Yeah, she's a good investigator, and it's always nice to watch her work as well.
Yes. Okay, next guest was Ness Watts.
Yeah, bless her. I do like Ness.
A paranormal investigator, not as well known as the others perhaps, but she does some good work. She goes all around the country investigating.
Yeah, very committed, very passionate about what she does. Her heart is just so into what she does, and it's just lovely to see people's passion and how much time and everything they commit to their hobbies, and just trying to get genuine evidence of the paranormal.
Of course, there is a chat. If you've got any questions for either Jane or myself, you can ask in the chat. Any questions at all, we will try and answer as honest as we can. We'll go on to our next guest, which is Drew.
Oh, Drew, yeah. Oh.
Drew Blood, he comes under. His real name is Drew Fagral Elliott.
Yes.
Drew used to have the Dark Energy podcast, but that's on a bit of a hiatus.
It's on a bit of a back burner, isn't it, at the minute? And that's how we met Drew, wasn't it? When he came up and did his podcast.
He interviewed us up here. So Drew is a nice guy, very passionate.
Yeah, great sense of humour. We've worked with him on a few projects, haven't we? We went over to Nottingham and did his round table, and that was a really good evening. So he does lots of little things that sort of other people don't necessarily do, and it's always interesting to hear his ideas and things that he wants to try. And he does stuff for charity as well, doesn't he? He came up here and he did his
charity
12-hour lockdown. I don't think he's ever been the same since.
He's not the same since. Bless him. Plus, he is a little bit of a rocker.
He is.
So we can talk about Sabbath and all sorts, me and Drew. So we're quite happy. And of course, along with Kelly, Drew has his own shows, Facebook Live shows.
Yep.
Once a month. So
he has his cryptid curiosities, doesn't he?
Yeah, cryptid curiosities and
his conspiracy chaos.
Chaos, yeah.
Yes. So they're really good to listen to, and he has such a unique approach to things.
Yeah.
And again, he has a great sense of humour, so it's just great working with him.
Yeah, I must admit, all the guests we've had on have been down to earth and nice people.
Yeah, I think so.
So we've chosen some good guests. Okay, our next guest was Linda Brooks from Brooks Paranormal.
Yeah, Linda, she's lovely. She's been up here quite a few times, hasn't she? And we've worked with her in Nottingham.
Yeah.
At the Robin Hood Experience, we've done lots of things there with her, and we've been on investigations together because she's been on the Haunted Live investigations at Bosworth Hall, and it's always a pleasure to work with Linda because she's just a really nice person.
Yeah, again, down to earth. So Brooks Paranormal, nice team. So the next guest was Andy Saw.
Oh,
Andy from Haunted Live and Haunted Magazine. Great guy. He also is a composer.
Yeah, and an author.
He's just released a book.
Yes, I have got it.
You've got it?
I am looking forward to reading it. Oh, you know me, I like to get the books.
Are we allowed to show that one?
Looking
Andy.
forward to reading that one over Christmas, so I have got that one.
Andy is 1/4 of the Haunted Live team because it used to be 1/5, but JP's left.
Yeah.
So they're Haunted Live are down to 4 now.
Yeah.
So the average age of the Haunted Live has just risen greatly since JP left because he was only a youngster.
But again, they are great to work with, aren't they? And it's always a pleasure to work with Andy because he is just a really nice guy. Again, very committed to the paranormal and what they do. And, for me, it's been great to watch him progress because he has had a few experiences lately. That he's not been sure about. And I think it's great that he's sort of progressing, whether he likes it or not. he's having these experiences.
He's not really too happy about it, is he? Some of them.
But he must be ready for it, otherwise they won't send it to him. So, I think it's great.
So, we'll have a bit of a pause between the next one. So, how do you see next year's going, Jane?
What?
On the radio and up here?
I think it's just going to grow and grow and grow. We get, the more we do, the more we want to do. And the more we do, the more it opens up questions and different investigations and different experiments. And, I keep saying this, we are only scratching on the surface of the possibility of what the paranormal really is and what we can learn and what we can, how we can develop. And for me, it's very positive. I think it's going to be very positive for the centre because we've got the right sort of attitude to just keep going forward And I think that's it, really. We just want to keep going and going and going. I know there's lots of things that I want to do and learn, and I've got so many books to read, and when I read the books, it generates more ideas and more experiments I want to try myself. And so, yeah, it's all for the taking, I think.
And about Parasearch Radio?
Yeah,
Do you think that's going to keep growing?
I think so. Because I think we've seen some growth this year, haven't we?
Yeah.
And not only with other people's shows, but with listeners.
They've got some great presenters.
Yeah, they have. And everybody has great guests on as well, so it's always interesting.
Yeah.
Always interesting to listen to.
Always
There's always
different.
something different. Yeah. It's great to just be able to put it on and just listen to it while you're just doing other stuff.
So, of course, some of these names that we've read out already were winners or nominees for Higgy Pop Awards that took place last week.
Yeah.
So we got Jane Harris was a nominee.
Yeah.
So you got MJ was a nominee. Andy's from Haunted Alive, so they were winners and nominees. So,
and I think everybody, all those people that have been either nominated or who actually got the gold and the silver awards, you can see with a lot of those people that people put the hours in, they put the commitment in, they're very dedicated to what they do. They have a great following, and this was all down to votes. They said they got over 60,000 votes for the Iggy Pop Awards. And if that person generated the most votes because people wanted to give them the vote, then, they won fair and square, regardless of who they were or what they were doing. And I think that's great that it is on such a fair system, because it's very difficult to say that it's fixed or, people don't deserve it or whatever. But if they've got the votes and they've got the following, then you can't dispute that.
I actually think Steve, who runs Higgy Pop, wants a special award for organising it.
Yeah, I think he does. I think he's flipping medal.
Steve puts so much effort and work into the awards.
Yeah.
And he makes no money out of it.
Yeah, I think it's. I think then again, that's somebody who's so committed and dedicated to trying to do this for the paranormal field that. It's amazing, really.
And even though Steve probably didn't agree with some of the nominees or winners, it was out of his control. He went along with the majority of votes, so credit to him.
Yeah, and that's what makes it a nice system.
He could have quite easily not put in the people he didn't like.
Yeah, and that's,
So fair play to Steve Higgins for the Higgy Pop Awards. Long may they continue. Okay, let's get back to our guests. The next one was Phil Wyman, Phil and Sarah.
Yeah.
So it was lovely chatting to them again.
Yeah, we did see them at Bosworth Hall, didn't we?
We did.
And it was great when they came up to the centre to do some filming. Lovely couple, lovely team, very genuine, very down to earth. Again, very committed to what they do. They do spend a lot of hours, a lot of time putting together these shows, and that's all to benefit the paranormal field. Yeah,
and I know Phil got some criticism over his Are You Haunted award, saying some people, I don't know how many people it was, but some people said they only won because of his association with Most Haunted and his name, which was, to me, was bang out of order.
Well, again, if they've got the following and they've generated the votes, then you can't dispute that. Whoever people won because they got more votes than anybody else, and you can't dispute that. If regardless of who they know or how they how they work, if they've got that following and they've generated them votes, then that's how it is.
Yeah, but the green-eyed monster jealousy can't rear its ugly head.
Yeah, that's always going to happen.
I know, Phil.
And we've seen so much of it in the last year in the paranormal field. Teams falling out, people falling out, and we just don't. I just think it's sad, really. But there's no, when people are jealous and when there's all this conflict and falling out, it doesn't help anybody really in the paranormal.
No. And of course, Are You Haunted was actually Sarah's idea.
Yeah.
It wasn't Phil's idea.
Yeah.
So
but again, you see, they put the hard work in. They're on series. They're on the second series now, aren't they?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and so the first series was a big success anyway, and they generated a lot of followers. So if people are voting for them, it's because of their own hard work and their commitment and what they do.
And nothing to do with Haunted.
No.
Which is not very fair on Phil and Sarah. Okay, our next guest after Phil, I think, was Lil and Fitz from Not Once for Yes podcast.
Yeah.
Another two good friends of ours.
Yeah, and they've. It was nice to see that they'd been nominated.
Oh yes, they were nominated for
awards.
podcast.
Yeah, and again, they're just another lovely young couple who are just so dedicated to the paranormal, and they do their podcasts. They do, they write these things up. They put these things online, and it's all for the benefit of other people. And when they came up here and they did their live feed and they got that member of their family through,
yeah, that was really good.
It was very personal to them. It was a very personal experience. And it was really nice to see that, and when people come through with personal messages and family and people really link in with that, then it's great.
So, who would you like us to get on this show next year? I'm putting you on the spot now, Jane.
Yeah, I'd quite like for us to perhaps see if we could get Chris Fleming, because we've had Barry, haven't we? And we've had Jane.
Yeah.
And their show is really popular at the minute. The Help My House is Haunted. So it would be interesting to get Chris on and see his view. Who else would I like to see?
Would you like to get someone a little bit more controversial?
Well, I'm always open for debate.
Do we just play safe?
Well, you see, I always like when so when you say play safe, I think it's always interesting to have other areas to discuss that probably aren't always discussed openly. And yeah, I'm up for controversial conversations, because I think that's the only way we're going to learn more about those subjects. And it's great when people show their views and their thoughts. And, I'd like to think that we could all discuss these things and still stay adults and not fall out about things. But controversial.
Do you think that would happen that wouldn't happen with some people, though, would it? You couldn't have an adult conversation or debate with everyone.
No, but we've had a lot of people on radio shows, and some of them have different thoughts about things and different ways they work, and that's one of the great things I think about the paranormal that makes it so interesting, is all the different ideas and the different thoughts. And if people could just not be so critical and just keep an open mind when people do things differently, or when people want to share things that they've experienced that perhaps is not generally talked about, I think it's going to benefit and help all of us. So if it's a controversial subject, I'd be quite interested in that. Okay. Just to see different people's, and just so we can learn ourselves about it. Because what makes it controversial? Because people haven't experienced it and they don't perhaps believe in it. But if it's one of the golden rules in the paranormal, isn't it? Just because you haven't experienced it yourself, people say, well, that's rubbish, or that doesn't exist, or I don't believe in that.
Yeah. But
your opinions are based on your own personal experiences. But if you've not experienced it, who's to say the other person hasn't?
I'm thinking of somebody whose ideas are so far out there That's what I mean by controversial.
Yeah, you see, I like that. I like different ideas.
Yeah, because I admit we have sort of played quite safe with our guests this year because they're all friends.
Yeah,
They're all, apart from Dan Litchfield, they're all people that we know.
Yeah.
So it's been nice, obviously, having them on. I like it when we don't have we've had some people who are not well known in the field, but I like that. So I think next year we mix it up a bit.
Yeah. See, things that intrigue me are when people have done things that not many people have, and in areas that we'd probably like to dip our toe in. You know, things like astral projection and stuff like that. You know, we've done a little bit of that. And I would like to hear other people's stories and experiences on that, that sort of thing, and different people's thoughts on time travel, and you know.
Okay, I can see Kelly's joined us. She just said hi in the chat. Okay, we've just talked about you, Kelly.
Your ear's on fire.
You've missed us talking about you. All good, obviously.
Obviously, wouldn't dare say any other.
Okay, we've mentioned Not Once for Yes. They were nominees in the podcast category of Higgy Pop, as was Parasearch Radio, of course.
Yes.
So our aim for Parasearch Radio is to get in the top 2 next year.
Yeah.
As far as I can see.
Yeah, that would be good.
So these guys, like Kelly and Paul, and all the others, put all the time and effort into producing the shows and everything. They get some recognition, so I hope that pans out next year.
Yeah, that would be good.
Because bless her, Kerry is really poorly, and she's in the studio looking after us because she probably knows that I don't know what buttons to press from my Kettle Me Radio days. So it'll be nice for next year that Parasearch Radio gets some recognition.
We talked about this the other day, didn't we? And if people didn't win, they shouldn't see it as a negative thing. They should see it as a positive thing and be inspired and motivated to do sort of bigger and better for next year.
Yeah, well, I think in that category, the podcast, there's about 4 or 5 nominees out of how many podcasts there are in the world in relation to the paranormal. So being nominated is an achievement in itself.
Yeah.
So, but we are going to help push that to get an award next year.
Yeah, I think
that's
really
one of my aims. Kerry says fingers crossed for next year. Okay, our next guest, I'm really, I guess, so we've got to keep talking. Our next guest was Dan Litchfield. Dan was, there was a reason why I asked Dan Litchfield to be our guest. Because the sort of drama of a place in Nottingham, opening a door, opening a room, and Dan was the guy who was asked to investigate it afterwards. But to be honest, we didn't get to talk about that a lot, did we?
No, I think from what I can remember, it was quite a fast-moving sort of show, isn't it? And there was lots of things to talk about, and we didn't really just sort of dwell on that subject for too long.
So...
But he's a very interesting guy to talk to.
It was nice talking to Dan. I'd never met him before. I've never spoken to him before. So that was nice.
So that was interesting to hear.
That was me pushing the boat out with the guest I'd never spoken to before.
Yeah.
Kerry says, exactly, we were thrilled to be nominated against such stiff opposition. Not opposition, sorry, I apologise, competition. Kelly said, it's no loss. It doesn't mean this podcast is any less worthy. Parasearch isn't going anywhere. Roll on 2020. That's from Kelly Ellis. Kerry says, it's Dan's birthday today.
Oh, happy birthday.
If you're listening, Dan, happy birthday. Kelly says he did talk a lot. Compared to one of my guests, can you remember, Jane, one of our first guests on Castle Radio?
Yeah.
We had a guest on, and to be honest, I asked one question.
Yeah.
The whole hour. He was an American guy, and he didn't shut up, did he?
He knew his stuff. He knew his stuff,
and it was interesting listening to him. I just couldn't speak on.
He just couldn't get away.
On Castle Radio, we used to play a record halfway through, didn't we? So I could drink with tea, but we didn't even play a record.
Break. Yeah, I'm not even sure if he took a breath, did he?
So I might ask him to be one of our guests.
Yeah, fascinating
next year.
stuff though.
All about Bigfoot.
Yeah.
So that's different. It's paranormal.
Yeah.
So yeah. Kerry says we have big plans for 2020. 3 years and still going strong.
Yeah,
that sounds good, Kerry. So I'm going to get that guy on as a guest, I think.
Yeah, be interested.
Easy. We can drink tea that night.
Yeah.
Okay, our next guest, I think, was a guy called Paul Stevenson.
Oh, it's always lovely to chat with Paul. Not so lovely to hear his jokes, but it's always lovely
if any of the listeners don't know who Paul Stevenson is, I'll say, where have you been? Paul is, again, like Andy, he is a quarter of Haunted Live, and he is the editor of the Haunted magazine. So, crazy guy.
Yeah, so funny though.
He's like a cuddly teddy.
He is. He is, and it's just lovely investigating with him because he's just so happy-go-lucky, and nothing's too much trouble. Everything's, it's just so nice and so friendly, and they're just very accommodating, and it's just great investigating with them because there's no sort of egos. It's just like investigating with your family and having a good laugh.
Paul, I must admit, Paul is unique.
Yeah, and I do like watching their lives as well.
Yeah.
I do like watching their lives.
I like it because they have a laugh as well. They enjoy it, and it's obvious they enjoy it.
But it's interesting. The whole investigation is just interesting.
Yeah.
And they go to some really cool locations as well.
Yeah, of course. Paul is an award winner with Haunted Live and Haunted Magazine. So well done to you guys.
Yeah.
One thing I will say about Paul Stevenson, if you ever go on a Haunted Live event with them, don't let Paul make the tea. Because he is crap at making. Paul Stevenson is the only guy I know to put milk in green tea. And then he says it won't go in strong, so put another bag in. If you drink green tea, you don't put milk in it. So, but Paul is a fantastic guy.
He is.
I won't have a bad word said against Paul.
No, he's just always been so nice and friendly to us, and he's a great friend of the centre. So it's great to just work with him and just investigate.
Yeah. He's really nice, and of course Paul will have his own Facebook Live show next year.
Yeah, that's cool.
I don't know where. So Paul Stevenson, loved chatting to him again. He actually came in. My guest couldn't make it. They were poorly, so I messaged Paul in the afternoon, and he stepped straight in to do it. So
yeah, well, nothing's ever too much trouble, is it?
If he can fit something in, he will do.
Yeah.
And Paul will voice his opinion as well, which I like.
Yeah.
And with the Haunted magazine, they will take on, if someone's got any issues, they will ask the questions for you.
Yeah.
So, and they've done that a few times this year.
Yeah, like they do it in a non-confrontational way as well.
Yeah, like teams turning up to venues and it's not been booked and that sort of thing. If you don't know where to go, contact Haunted magazine, and they will do it. They will ask the relevant people questions properly. They won't judge until they know all the facts. Kelly says they are good. Yeah, I love the Haunted Live guys. Again, they're good friends of ours now. My next guest, stop yawning. I'm not that boring, am I, James? My next guest, again, someone who just stepped in because there's so many illnesses around this winter. There's someone called Jane Rowley.
Oh.
I admit I was scraping the bottom of the barrel.
But it worked out in the end, didn't it?
The funny thing is, I was asking you questions for you to answer, and I know the answers anyway. I think I can't because I know you quite well now.
Yeah, and I think Haunted Live were investigating, so we were sitting on
the landing. We were sitting on the landing, weren't we?
Yeah, and it was sitting on the landing downstairs, and it's only a small landing, and we're on these little chairs, and it was the most unusual sort of.
Yes, horrible comfy chairs sitting on for an hour. You get right bum ache, don't you?
But I enjoyed that actually. It was a good. It was a good interview.
Kelly says, "I've heard of her." Laugh out loud. She's just someone who latched onto me years ago, and I tried to shake her off when I was with Too Haunted. But you know what they say about this bad penny.
Yeah, it just keeps turning up. It's like a bad smell.
So. How's things going with you then? Tell people what you've been doing this year. That's because you're here, so I'm.
Oh, yeah, it's been a really interesting year because we have tried so many things. For me, I think psychometry. I've done so much psychometry since I've been working up here that to me now it just seems just part of what we do. It's just normal working sort of stuff. And I remember when I first started training in psychometry, and I thought I'd never get the hang of this. But now I just really enjoy doing it, and I just really enjoy capturing the information and writing it down, and it just tells me so much about an item. And I always say, I can only tell you what I see, what I feel, what I sense, and then it's up to other people to make up their minds about that. But we have tried so many other things as well, haven't we?
Yeah.
We did try going into the mirror, the astral projection stuff,
yes.
And that was really interesting. It's changed a lot the way I think about some things now, and I'd quite like to try that again.
Okay, you will.
Pardon?
You will.
And
I've
also,
got plans for you.
I've recently been doing some stuff with the trans as well, so I'm looking forward to doing some more of that trans mediumship next year. And we've been doing the meditation classes up here, which are going really well.
Yeah,
we're getting a really good group of people now, and it sometimes I suppose I lose a bit of confidence in myself. I think, am I giving a good enough thing to the people? Are they enjoying it? Are they benefiting from it? But after about 3 or 4 sessions, everybody in the group said how much they benefited from doing the meditation, how much it helps them every day in their normal lives. And that to me is just absolutely fantastic because it just, I know how much it benefits me and how much a difference it's made to my life. And if I can help other people achieve that, then that's a really good thing. And the development circles as well. We've been doing a development circle, and people have been really enjoying that. They're all benefiting from it. They're practicing. They're doing stuff. And if I can again just help people understand working with spirit a little bit more, then that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
So we have been doing lots of different things. We've got lots of different items. We've been doing lots of different. We've been doing the shows on the Facebook as well. I've been doing a Me Time meditation show on there every fortnight, and also a Behind the Storybook show, which is sort of the truths and origins about a lot of our myths, legends, fairytales and folklore.
You did it about Christmas last week, didn't you?
Yeah,
and
I did.
I must admit, I learned so much.
I really enjoyed that. I do so much research and I do so much reading, and I just love sometimes collating all this information and just sharing it with other people.
That's good. And of course, I've noticed how much you progress in the last 2 years.
Well, even probably longer than that.
I remember the first time when you used to come as a guest on to haunted venues events.
Yeah.
You didn't used to say a lot, did you?
No, I was shy.
It was your daughter saying, what are you picking up, Mum? What are you picking up? Yeah, Kerry says, I love it when presenters interviewing each other. We get to hear a whole other side to them.
Yeah.
Yes, we do. Kelly.
I am a very private person. I don't discuss my private life much at all, and it's yeah. I suppose you don't always get the opportunity to express about yourself really a lot because you're focusing on the other people. Aren't you? You're always interviewing other people. I mean, when we're up here, we're always helping other people. We're educating people. We're showing them stuff. We're telling them about things. You just don't really talk about yourself or your private stuff. No. So
Kelly says, I always fall asleep to the meditation and will get to the end one day. Well, that's a good thing, Kelly.
That's a good thing. If you're that chilled out and relaxed and fall asleep, that's good.
But of course, it's not all. This year's not all been rosy.
No.
Because you have been called a fake, haven't you?
But I think that's just part of that goes with the territory. I think a lot of mediums have that.
You did get called a fake by someone who knows you so well.
Yeah, no, well,
they never met you.
No, he's never met me. He's never been up to the centre. He's never seen me work. So, but he's the only one. But there's a lot of people who have seen me work and when you can help people or when you bring through personal, private messages from family and people who appreciate that, then that's good.
What I've noticed happening even more just lately, for the last 6 months maybe, people that we do know are coming to you with their problems, haven't they?
Yeah.
Instead of going to, and some of these people know well-known TV celebrity mediums who they can go to, but there's been a few now that come to you to ask for your help and advice.
Yeah, I do appreciate that.
That says a lot to what they think of you.
Yeah, I always
and your mediumship.
And I've never said anything different, but when I'm working as a medium, and I will only ever tell you what I say, what I feel, what I sense, and that's all I can do. And I work in truth and in the light, and that's and I am so protective over my own integrity, and I won't let anything compromise my own integrity. And being honest and being truthful is a massive thing for me, and I think that does come through, and people appreciate that.
That's why I pay you such a huge wage.
10 biscuits, dot from pay.
Yeah, you can have cups of tea all Saturday and biscuits.
Yeah, I bring home coffee. On milk.
Okay, let's carry on. So that was Jane when I talked to Jane. That's quite fun.
It's been a fantastic year when we look back. It's been very interesting, and we've done so many different things.
It was quite interesting for me because, like I said, I was asking you questions. I knew the answers to it, but our next guest was David Barrett. David he's uses all the apps, ITC, the Scottish man.
Yeah.
We've interviewed him before as well, so
yeah, really interesting. It's just interesting to listen to all the different apps, and I mean, I don't. Even in the early days, I never used to use any of the equipment because I just used to want to develop my own mediumship, and I just wanted to focus on my own senses and working with spirit. So I never used to use a lot of the apps, but it always fascinated me, the people who knew so much about the apps and the different ways things worked and that sort of thing. So it's always great to talk to people like that.
Yeah, I must admit, like I said earlier with Charlene, because Charlene uses apps, but then so does Paul and Andy. They use the Alice on the tablet, and they've had some amazing stuff with it.
Yeah.
And David sort of specialises in that sort of thing. So it was nice chatting to David again.
Yeah, and I think it's really cool if you find something that really works for you and you get the results, and you stick with it, then that's great.
Yeah, unfortunately, some people just poo-poo the ideas straight away, don't they?
Again, you see, that's people's opinions because they haven't had the experiences and they haven't perhaps had the opportunities to work with some of this stuff.
I just think you need to have an open mind.
Yeah, entirely.
And try everything.
Yeah.
A lot of people saying we should go back to basics.
Yeah.
Not use any equipment. But my reply to that is, what evidence did that get you?
Yeah.
Because they've never proven life after death. Back to basics.
Yeah. Well, I'm still a very firm believer of the phrase "don't knock it until you've tried it." So if you haven't tried it, then you should keep an open mind about it.
Kelly says, "What I love about all the guests is the diverse beliefs. It's been a real eye-opener, to be honest, and I'm so ready to learn more," which is good.
Yeah, I think so.
And I think Kelly's finding that as she talks to her guests on the Haunted Advisor show.
Yeah.
So that's good. I'm hoping next year that the guests will be even more diverse.
Yeah,
it's like I said, cool. I've sort of played it safe.
Yeah.
This year because it was our first year. Okay, our next guest was actually sitting in his car doing the show because he says it's the only place he can get where it's quiet. Because bless him, I think he's got 7 daughters.
He has.
He's got this guest. He's got 7 daughters and a wife. And live in a house full of 8 women. This guy deserves a medal. I only had a wife and 1 daughter, and that was bad enough with the women. Of course, this guest was Barry Guy from Help My House is Haunted.
Yeah, it's I love watching Barry because I just think he's just such a and we've met him as well. He's just such a genuine nice guy, and I like watching him on the Help My House is Haunted and talking to him when we interview him. And he's just so down to earth. He's just such a lovely guy, and he's I think he's so genuine as well.
Yeah, that's the big. I always had the impression of these TV celebrities as being a bit egotistical, and the ones I've met haven't been at all.
No.
And I've met Jane, I've met MJ, I've met Barry, we've met Kieran O'Keefe, we've met Phil Wyman, we met Sandy Lakdar.
Yeah. So
we've met quite a few now, and they're all so genuine.
Yeah.
Which is what, and like I say, I admire Barry putting up with 8 women.
Yeah, and I did enjoy talking to Barry because I did enjoy sort of talking to him about the because it had just run the episode where he went down into the tunnels of that farmhouse, and he ended up running back out again, and then he still went back down for more, and I think he ran out again. So that was really quite interesting to talk to him about that. So. As a seasoned paranormal investigator,
he gets for it.
Yeah, people still get scared and run out of buildings. So it was great, and it's nice watching them carrying on with the series as well. It's just a nice program to watch.
Yeah, he's a nice guy, down to earth, and I love him.
And he's soon to do his charity event, isn't he? His 12-hour lockdown.
December the 20th.
December the 20th?
Yes, December the 20th, Barry Guy is spending 12 hours locked in the Ancient Ram Inn on his own for charity.
Yeah, so
if you've not sponsored the guy, he's probably doing it to get some peace and quiet, if all be known. Instead of sitting in his car, he can sit in the Ancient Ram Inn.
Yeah.
Of course, the Ancient Ram Inn is a location you've not been to, is it?
No, I missed it when you went along there, so... I would like to go in there and at least just see just once. I like to. It's on my bucket list of places to go. Yeah,
I think it's a place a bit like 30's Drive. There's too much hype.
Yeah.
For me, and it didn't. For me, it didn't live up to the hype. We had a fantastic night. Now we had the table tipping over, and when we did table tipping sort of thing.
Yeah.
And we had people falling, and it was twisting around the people falling over. That was hilarious. Carrie says he's well outnumbered. Yeah, Richard says 8 women, poor guy. Yeah, oh God. Kerry says Well, at least he gets some peace and quiet. Laugh out loud. Beat me to it now. Yeah, so he's going to hopefully get some peace and quiet in the Ancient Rabbit.
Yeah.
But then, having said that, it's not my favourite location. I don't think I'd spend 12 hours on my own in there.
Yeah, I think he did put it to a vote though, and that's
People had to vote
location.
which location.
Yeah, and because it was all based around a charity. So, good luck to him. I hope he does it. I hope he raises lots of money.
I'm laughing because I read Richard's comment. Imagine being wrong 8 times in a row every day. You got it right there, Richard.
Oh.
So yeah, I hope he raises lots of money. I hope he does it.
Yeah, I'm sure he will. He's.
I don't think I could do it. I'm a bit of a chicken.
Well, you struggled for an hour down the bottom of the back stairs.
I flipping did, didn't I? Yeah, and even up here, I would not go
You don't
into
like
the
being
back
up here
end
on
on
your
my
own,
own. If
do
there's no
you?
one else in the building,
No.
I won't go through.
No.
But then I know what's there.
Yeah.
Perhaps that's my downfall.
And they know you as well. If you're a bit vulnerable.
Yeah, and what's going to happen when we go downstairs?
Boy, I can't wait.
He
It's
wants
gonna
me,
be
doesn't he?
Yeah, but having Barry as a guest on the show was great. I really enjoyed interviewing Barry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, our final guest of the year was Sadie Forth
Oh, yes.
from Paradox. I can't remember the name. Sadie was our guest. Was it last week? No, we didn't do it last week because.
No, because it was Julie's.
No, we didn't. We missed a show last week. It was the week before because Julie was having an operation, so I couldn't make it last week. Sadie Forth.
Yeah. Another really interesting lady and the thing I really like about Sadie
is her accent.
She just, but she just, she was telling us about the experience that she had that got her into the paranormal, but she's just gone on this. She's sort of on this sort of one-man crusade to find the truth, and I think that's brilliant because she's not relying on other people. If there's nobody else around, she'll just go and do it anyway. If she hasn't got any team or anything like that, she'll just go and do it anyway. And I that's one thing I really like about Sadie, that she's got a lot of gumption to just get up and do it for herself and to just find that evidence.
Yeah, she got a lot of guts.
Yeah.
Especially from her first experience.
Yeah.
Which wasn't nice.
It wasn't a positive experience. But
no, and she still does it. So blessing her, fair play to the girl.
Yeah. I think it was so interesting talking to her and listening to her story that, and I hope everybody else enjoyed it as well, because listening to people's personal stories can be so educational and inspiring. It's just a nice opportunity for us to be able to have these people on the show and to share their stories so other people benefit from it as well.
Yeah, Kerry's made a comment. I hadn't heard of Sadie before your show and loved her. Thought she was awesome.
Yeah, she is.
That's what I like. I like to have guests on who aren't well known.
Yeah.
As well. So because the well known people probably get interviewed lots and lots of times, but it's nice to talk to the normal.
Yeah, and Sadie, there's no ego there. She's very down to earth, and
she comes from Norfolk, so she's got a Norfolk accent. So.
Yeah, and again, she's just another lovely lady that enjoys what she does. She's very determined. She's very committed to what she does, and she does it to find her own answers. She doesn't do it for anybody else.
For herself.
She's got nothing to prove to anybody else. There's no ego there whatsoever, and she just enjoys what she does, and she gets on with it, and she's just a really interesting lady to talk to.
So if we had a guest on next year who we don't know, and they come on and they're so ego, how would you react? Would you be professional, or would you say, do you think you've got a bit of an ego?
You've got to be. But I think for me, it's about finding out about that person and finding out what they've done, and finding interesting information that the listeners are going to find interesting. And if people are into the paranormal and they want to listen to different controversial things, and like you said, if you've got different guests to do that, then that's all well and good. And if somebody's got a big ego and they still come on, then we're still going to interview them just the same, and we're still going to try and find out about what they're doing, what they're up to, what makes them tick, what gets them into the paranormal, what evidence they've got, what locations they like, and just keep it professional.
Mm-hmm. Well said.
Like we always do.
We try to.
Yeah.
So, you said you'd like to get Chris Fleming on.
I think he would be. Watching him work as a medium, for me, I always. I don't know if I'm just a bit weird or whatever, but
you talk to dead people, so that you don't get much weirder than that.
I always really enjoy watching other mediums work, and I know a lot of mediums can be a bit egotistical and it can be a bit controversial, but I really enjoy watching other mediums work, and I think you can learn a lot just by watching other people work. And for me, it's never been an issue working with other mediums or watching people work.
But you don't see it as a competition, do you?
Not at all.
And you don't see it as that you're being judged all the time.
No, I don't see that.
Beyond that,
and like I keep saying, all I can tell you when I'm working with spirit is what I see, what I feel, and what I sense. And if people don't always believe that, then that is them, because I'm not going to make it up to make it, to make things fit or to sensationalise it or to make it more dramatic or anything like that. And if there's nothing there, there's nothing there. And keeping it honest and keeping it real is really important to me. And the same, I just enjoy watching other mediums work, and it would be interesting to, just to talk to him and interview him, and
Kerry says Chris is great to speak to. I loved talking to him last year.
Yeah, cool.
So Kerry spoke to him. I'd love to get this guy onto the show.
Yeah, I'd love to get him up here investigating.
No, I'm going to say I would love to interview David Icke.
Oh yes, yeah. That's about the reptilian people.
That's when I say, shall we go a bit risque?
You see, I have read a lot about David Icke and his opinions and his thoughts about the reptilian people and stuff like that. And going back to a lot of the beginning, when I say the beginning, I mean like the creation of mankind, with the people who first came here and manipulated our DNA to make us who we are. There might be some truth in what he's saying.
Kerry says, "Oh God, yeah, I've tried and failed. So go for it. Laugh out loud. Mark would kill you if you got him. Laugh out loud."
Yeah, I'd love to talk to the guy.
I will try and get him.
Yeah, I'd love to talk to him.
We're nearly at the end of the show.
Really?
Yeah, it's about 3 minutes. One of our first guests next year is going to be Ben Cannon.
Yes, oh, lovely.
Ben is a really good lad. He is a good friend of ours at the centre. I asked him if he could be tonight's guest, but he couldn't. He's busy tonight because he's got a bit of celebrity status now. Yeah. Ben, of course, won a special award at the Higgy Pop Awards last week. So I will get Ben on.
Yeah.
In January.
Yeah.
I will try and get David Icke on, but I'm definitely going to get this American that we've had before. I think we ought to diversify into different realms of the paranormal as well.
Yeah.
Like UFOs and Bigfoot and
yeah.
So, all we've got to say tonight is a couple more minutes.
Yeah. So what? Just you've asked me. So what about you? How do you think this last year's gone?
I think it's been crazy.
Have you enjoyed doing it? Have you enjoyed doing your shows and your guests?
I've loved doing the shows.
Yeah.
I do enjoy doing them. We started off on Castlemead Radio, didn't we?
We did.
But I love doing these shows. I love talking to all the different people. I do. If I can help in any way to make Parasearch Radio grow next year, I will do what I can to help it grow.
Yeah.
We want millions of listeners.
Yeah, we do.
So we're looking forward to that. So we're about time to go now. So all we've got to say now then is we wish you all a Merry Christmas.
Yes, we do.
And a Happy New Year.
Yes, and I hope you have lots of lovely presents and you all have a nice rest. And you all have a lovely time with family.
And I'm going to have some time off from the centre over Christmas.
Yay!
A couple of days.
Yeah, it's going to be nice.
So here's to 2020 for Parasearch Radio. It's going to be awesome.
It is. It's going to be fantastic. So yeah, it'd be great if everybody can stay listening into next year.
And tell all your friends.
And from the sound of it, Neil's going to get us some really interesting guests.
I intend to. Yeah. So, a happy Christmas to you all, and we'll see you all next year.
In the new year, yeah.
So,
good night, everyone.
See ya, bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. Don't forget to join us for more shows throughout the week. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and the World Wide Web to keep up to date with all the shows right here on Parasearch Radio.